Good morning. This is Dylan Jovine with Behind the Markets. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, March 25th, and it is National Medal of Honor Day. And the National Medal of Honor Day recognizes and honors all Medal of Honor recipients. And for those of you who don't know, Medal of Honor is the highest military award for valor in the United States, and it was created during the Civil War in 1861. And can you imagine what it takes to earn the Medal of Honor during war? Can you imagine what feat of heroism you have to do? Save somebody under fire, go back and put your life at risk for your fellow soldiers. That is just unimaginable for most of us who've never fought in war, who've lived such privileged lives, frankly. Not that word is, a great word these days, privilege. Can you imagine? So to all the Medal of Honor recipients watching this, thank you. Thank you for showing us really the height of what it means to be an American. And to all of our veterans anyway, thank you too. So today, in that vein, I'd like to talk about China. There was a piece in Foreign Affairs last week that talked about China's shipbuilding capacity in relation to ours. And basically, when you look at it, as the piece highlights, China has a shipbuilding capacity that's 200 times bigger than ours. 200 times bigger than ours. Now, one of the things that I've observed over the years is that a lot of war game scenarios in 2016 and 2017, 2018, when there were, the CSIS and all these other institutions were running war game scenarios, they basically had China destroying us. We lost every single one of them. Then we started distributing, as a result of that, distributing our armed forces around there. And basically, because of that, we were able to fight to a draw from 2018 to 2022, basically. And in a couple recent years, we've been able to fight to a small win. But it's more like a Pyrrhic victory. It costs us so much to do that it's almost not worth it. We're talking tens of thousands of sailors and Navy and Army and all this other stuff that are wiped out in weeks in a potential conflict with China over Taiwan. So this is very serious stuff. And of course, just yesterday, the Wall Street Journal had an article, basically, China is ready to invade and surround Taiwan. And this is all because President Xi Jinping, Chinese President Xi Jinping, told his military to be ready to take Taiwan by 2027. And they really know that whoever controls Taiwan basically controls the future of AI. That's what they know. We know it, they know it, everybody knows it. So Taiwan is very important. Just think, NVIDIA's chips are made in Taiwan. All advanced semiconductors, 95% of them, are made in Taiwan. It's just insane. Okay, so Taiwan is very important. And just in case you don't understand how important, if we lost Taiwan, not only would China control where all these chips go and have access to all these advanced factories, which are incredibly difficult to make, not only would they control where all the chip goes, they could actually tell us, nah, you're not going to get the chips. We're only going to give it to allies of ours who do what we want. They would control the tap. It's like modern day oil. You've heard me say that before. I'm going to say it again. It's modern day oil. You just can't give Taiwan. If they took Taiwan, basically China would be able to outflank Japan. So basically you'd have Japan and South Korea all incentivized to pivot towards China and away from the U.S. Basically, it would mean the end of American power as we know it. We as a country, and it would be the end of the dollar's role as the reserve currency as we know it. The world, it would be a BC AD kind of situation here, period. Anybody who tells you differently has never read history. Now, people say, a friend of mine was arguing with me this weekend, that we have a better Navy than they do. They might have a bigger Navy, China, but we have a better Navy. I said, you know what? Japan in the 1930s had a better Navy than the United States, okay? And Japan thought, we knock them out in Pearl Harbor, we knock the U.S. out, destroy all those ships at Pearl Harbor, and we will force the United States to settle. Japan had it wrong, okay? They had a better Navy than us, but they had it wrong because we were able to outproduce Japan over the next few years by a factor roughly of 200 to 1. So basically, China is to us what we were to Japan in World War II. It's able to out-manufacture us, outproduce us massively. So it's very concerning. And when you look at these now more recent war game scenarios, what you're seeing here is they have us winning basically by a nose, depending on the day. But again, they're Pyrrhic victories. They're such high cost that it's almost crazy. But again, you know how important Taiwan is. There, it's such a high cost winning. So they say, you know what? But they're all short-term wars in these war game scenarios. They're imagining 3-month wars, 4-month wars. But again, Japan made the same bet when it attacked Pearl Harbor. This would be short. The United States would settle. We can't afford to make that bet. We just can't afford to make that bet, okay? Period. Can't afford to make that bet. Because again, what Japan learned is that we were in it for the long haul and we started ramping up our industrial production, okay? Now, right now, just to show you the big gap that we face that with China, China has one shipyard that outproduces all of America's shipyards together. So we have really got to work on increasing our capacity to manufacture ships. I am going to be talking about that, and I'm going to add that to our Iron Dome special report. We've really got to crank it up here, guys. We've really got to crank it up. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Tomorrow, stay tuned. I am going to actually talk to you about the real reason Elon Musk went to the Pentagon last week for his China War Games briefing. Very timely stuff, all this stuff. Anyway, have a great day.